Did you ever have a speaker who just talked and talked and talked and talked, and it was all you could do to stay awake? I don't want to be that speaker. And what I found is one of the best cures for that is to get people involved and get them involved in meaningful ways. So I'm going to show you a lot of different ways that I've done it. And one of the things I like to do is I like to start a presentation off and get people involved in the first minute, literally the first minute. I want people to begin to feel like, whoa, he's talking to me. Let's take a look. But as you're walking out of the room, you're walking out of the room with your best friend in the organization. This is the man or woman that you can talk candidly to and not worry about it getting back to anyone else. So imagine the person seated next to you is that person. I'd like you to turn to them and say, what would you be saying offline about what you just heard from the CEO? Okay? If you could listen in on those conversations, you'd hear a lot of negative comments, lots of resistance to this change. You've seen speakers drag people up from the audience, these poor, unsuspecting people. You're not going to get that from me. I ask for volunteers a lot, but I only use volunteers. So here's a situation I often use because it gets at the challenges of influencing somebody else like right away. So what you're about to see is somebody who needs to get on a flight. The last flight of the day, they've got to be across the country for an important meeting in the morning, and they've lost their boarding pass. And there's a gate agent. And the gate agent's end of a long day, they've been put up on all day, and they don't want to lose their job. So the flyer has 2 minutes to try to get on the plane. So let's take a look.
I need to get on that plane. I must be on it. Who else can I talk to? Who else is here to talk to? There's got to be somebody I can talk to.
There's no one else here to talk to at this time.
No, you can't be the only person. Don't you have a supervisor? Who else?
I need to have some form of identification.
I don't know where it is. I lost it. Can't you see? I broke my arm. I'm discombobulated. I'm doing everything. I don't know where it is. My God, this is not even my purse.
Let's
If it's a longer presentation, sometimes I'll expand that activity to everybody and say, all right, find yourself a partner. One of you be the flyer, one of you be the gate agent. You got 2 minutes to try to get on the flight. So now everybody is feeling, what's it like to try to influence somebody else when I've only got 2 minutes? And that can work really well. Let's imagine that we are a company, all of us in this room. And let's say the third of you over here are senior management. Okay, you look like a distinguished bunch. You can play senior management, right? And how about the group over here playing middle management, and the folks way in back, you play non-management. And I'm the CEO. It's my presentation. I get to be the CEO. All right. So what's going on here? Well, first of all, this clip was made back when I used to dye my hair brown. And what's going on is a lot of times there will be a theme to the event or the kind of challenge they're working on. Lean Six Sigma, for instance, whatever it might be. And I will use that to create a really quick simulation where I play the leader and the people in the audience play the people in the organization. And I exaggerate, like Lean Six Sigma or Lean Seven Sigma and 3 easy steps, but something that is outrageous. And it gets people talking about why they might resist, why they might support, like quickly. And I got to tell you, I have used variations of that simulation all over the world. I've used it in the US, Canada, the Caribbean, Europe, and even in Russia. And it just works. It seems to cut across cultures. So I hold a surprise meeting, and I invite senior management and middle management. I don't invite non-management. Does this seem realistic so far? Okay. You have no idea why you're coming to the meeting. You come in the meeting, and I get up there and I say, folks, these are dire times. Our company is having serious problems. The competition is eating us for lunch, and we've got to do something, and we've got to do something now. And I've been thinking about what to do and thinking about what to do. And a couple of weeks ago, I was flying through O'Hare Airport, and I found a book called Re-Engineering the Corporation. And I've had a chance to skim most of it, and that's the way we're going to go. I've hired some consultants, and they're going to be in here. You've been there, huh? Yeah. I've hired some consultants, and they're going to be in here on Monday morning to get started. Okay? And I go on and I talk about timelines and where we're going to start. And at the end of an hour, I say, are there any questions? There are no questions. Last year, I did a presentation for 700, actually 765 people to be exact. I got called by the organization. They said, everybody in the organization is going to be at this meeting, 765 people. We'd like you to do a 45-minute keynote. And I said, fine. They said, what we're going to be doing before that is introducing a major change that morning. And then say, and here's Rick. And I talked to them for a while and I said, let me suggest an alternative. What if we took my 45 minutes and spread it out throughout the entire day? So maybe I'll talk for 10 minutes and then at their tables, they can begin to apply what I'm talking about to that change that you just talked about. And they said, oh, that's a good idea. So we spent a lot of time working on the logistics of it to make sure that it worked. Very interactive. So literally, I talked maybe 45 minutes, but it was mostly them. And it worked really, really well. But one of my favorite parts is in the afternoon, I was talking about a tool I developed called the Energy Bar. And I thought it'd be great to have a volunteer for this. Now, asking for a volunteer in a room that size, you're probably not going to get one. But I thought, you know, they like me at this point. What do I got to lose? And I said, hey, I know it's late in the afternoon, but I could really use a volunteer to help me on this next activity. And somebody in the middle of the room goes, I'll do it. And he runs down the aisle and people are cheering because one of their own is coming up on stage with me. The guy was a great guy. We went through the Energy Bar. He's moving around. I'm moving around. And at the end of that, I thanked him. And as he started to go back to his seat, people erupted in applause for him. And I just loved to keep finding ways to get people involved in ways that serve the work. So one of the things that I do with planning groups is really get to understand your culture in a way and the project in a way that we can say, oh, this might be a good place. This might be a good place. So I hope that's useful. Thanks.